Hey everyone, so I've been following the Game Boy Homebrew community for a good 3 or 4 years now, and the most exciting thing to come from those past few years is the fact that there's actually publishers now which are taking people's homebrew games and actually giving them full physical releases complete with really nice instruction booklets and extras like posters and sticker sheets. I've got 9 incredible games here from Incubate, which are by far the best publisher for the Game Boy at the moment. But I do actually have 2 copies of one of the games, so I'm going to do a giveaway in this week's video. So if you want to win a copy of the machine for yourselves, all you need to do is leave a comment and let me know what is your favourite Game Boy Homebrew game that you've ever played. Let me know down in the comments below and make sure you subscribe to the channel and I'll pick a winner in a few weeks' time. Now let's get started and check out 9 incredible games from Incubate. So first up is a game called The Year After, and I'm so happy to finally have this game because I've honestly been waiting for this release for about a year now, and it only just turned up the other day, and I'm so happy that it did, and it did not disappoint. Unfortunately, it's also quite hard to get, as they do only sell the special edition, but if you take a look at the unboxing here, you can see all of the incredible things that come inside this package. The game itself is a really emotional and atmospheric journey. It only takes about half an hour to get all the way through, but I promise you won't regret playing it. Without spoiling too much, the game is basically a time travel story, and you visit the same little house on the hill over and over again, and you get to see the changes in the people that live there, their family that they raise. Maybe something bad happens to one or the other depending on what you do in the game, but I'm not going to go into spoiler territory here. The music as well is really well done and it really adds to the atmosphere. By the end of this very short but very engrossing game, I was actually almost in tears, and I had a look on the itch.io page after, and there was people on there that said they were bawling their eyes out as well. I love the way that the game uses a really limited colour palette to show the change in seasons. It's a really nice, subtle effect, and it really gives the sense that you're going through the different seasons and the different time periods within the game. I just think the developer did an absolutely fantastic job, and I highly recommend you going and checking out A Year After. So if you want a really emotional but quite short journey on the Game Boy, and you don't mind paying a little bit extra to get a physical version, which is really nice, then I highly recommend this. You can also check it out over on itch.io, and with all of the other games in this video, I'll be putting links in the description, so you can check out Incubate's website, and you can also go and play the games if they're available on the developer's site as well. Now for a puzzle game, which is kind of uncommon in the homebrew community, so I was really excited to try this one out. This is called Magipanels. And it's kind of a match 3 game, but it's very different to what I was expecting. I was expecting a game kind of similar to Bejeweled or Candy Crush, that sort of thing. But the difference here is that you actually turn over every single panel in the grid in one line or the other, and if you turn them over too many times they explode and you lose health. It took me a little bit of time to wrap my head around the mechanics, but once I did, I got really engrossed in this puzzle game, and there's a load of unlockable extras as well. The developer did warn me that it is a little bit tricky to get your head around, so definitely consult the manual before you start playing this game, and the developer is open for questions as well, so go into it not expecting a game like Bejeweled, but expecting to have to work things out a little bit for yourself first before you fully understand what to do, and you're definitely going to have a great time with it. There's loads of unlockables, like different characters that all have different abilities. There's different pieces that you can use on the board, so you can have dice, you can have like potion cauldrons, you can have playing cards. There's loads more that I haven't even seen yet, and I'll definitely be playing more of it to try and unlock those extra things in the future. Now next is a game that I have actually already done a video on in the past. It's called Genesis, and it's an amazing vertical scrolling shooter for the system. If you like what you're seeing over the video right now and you want to find out even more about this fantastic vertical scrolling shoot 'em up, then go ahead and check out my video review in the description below. But for now, this is a really great vertical scrolling shooter, and the developer is actually working on a sequel right now as well, and I can't wait to play that one. It looks like it's shaping up to be even better than this first release. It is a very simple game, and it is a little bit on the easy side, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they improve on in the sequel. But for now, I definitely recommend giving Genesis a try if you like your shoot 'em ups and you want to try something new for the Game Boy. Another one that I've done a video on previously is called Indestructotank, but what makes this one really unique is the fact fact that it originally came out on Kickstarter, and it's basically a reimagining of the developer's previous Flash games that he made back in the early 2000s. In the original video, I went into loads of detail, documenting the history of the series, how each game improved on the last, and all of the different design philosophies that the developer took forward to the Game Boy release. So definitely go ahead and watch that, and as you can see, the packaging is also very different this time, unlike Deadeus. A completely redesigned front cover there, as well as a new manual inside, and also some new pictures on the back as well. In terms of the game itself though, the game is exactly the same, and what the game is a really fun arcade style game, where you basically play as this tank and you bounce off the enemies, and you just have to keep bouncing, keep using your bombs to bounce higher, and just see how long you can last, and then you get a high score at the end. It's very simple, but it's very addictive, and I really enjoyed playing it when it came out on Kickstarter, and I'm really enjoying playing it again thanks to Incubate. Now another game that I've already done a video on, and another game that actually got a release previously as well, this time by Spacebot Interactive, which is a company that actually went on to form Incubate itself, so they're kind of two of the same releases, but there's very subtle differences between them. And in terms of the game itself, it's a fantastic horror game for the Game Boy with loads of different endings and loads of different ways of exploring this town and trying to piece together what's been going on in the game. It's a really engrossing game, and like I said, I have done a video review on this one, so if you want to find out more about the game, then go ahead and watch that video after this one too. And I know the developer has got a few different plans for new Game Boy games as well, and I really can't wait to see what he comes up with, because this is honestly still one of the most polished games in the homebrew community. Next is a game that I haven't done a video on. This is Pine Creek, and I do have a full script written, so I will be doing a full review of it at some point in the future. I just need to get round to actually recording that. But Pine Creek itself is a really interesting kind of psychological horror / murder mystery adventure. It's kind of on the short side. It takes place over just 4 in-game days, but the way this game stands out is with its great cast of characters and really well-written dialogue that makes it feel alive. Unlike Deadeus though, there isn't really different endings to get in this one, it's just one story through and through, and that is why I'm kind of struggling to do a full review on it, because I don't want to give anything away, because there are some really big plot twists in this game that were really surprising, so I have to kind of pick and choose the gameplay that I've recorded so that it won't spoil anything. But rest assured that Pine Creek is definitely worth a purchase if you want a really good story-based adventure for the Game Boy. And even though this was one of the earlier releases from Game Boy Studio, it still holds up really well today, and it's really well polished too. Unfortunately, it seems like the developer's not interested in making a follow-up or another Game Boy game, which is such a shame because he did an amazing job with this one. So Carmelo Electronics, if you're watching, please get back to the Game Boy scene, we would love to see what you come up with next. Now next is The Machine, and like I said, I've got 2 copies of this one, so I am doing a giveaway, so let me know down in the comments below what your favourite Game Boy homebrew game is, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll pick a winner in about 2 weeks time. And now with that said, let me show you just a little bit of what the game's all about. Now this is another super well polished game. This is called The Machine by Ben Jelter, and this one, like Deadeus, also has loads of different endings. The replay value in this game is just insane. I've played it a lot off camera, but on camera I've gone through 2 different routes, and it varies wildly depending on what you choose in the game. You could be just pushing boxes around, or you could be training to enter the police force. And basically it's another really atmospheric, story-driven adventure where you're trapped inside this machine, and depending on how you answer questions at the start, kind of decides your rank in society, and that depends your route through the game. You can do different things along the way, and you can meet a really weird and wacky range of different characters. It's such a good game, and Ben Jelter did an amazing job with it. And these next 2 are actually part of Incubate's new light releases, which means that they're actually cartridge only, which is a shame because I do feel like both of these games are good enough to deserve a full box and manual as well. Maybe that will come in the future, but for now, let's take a look at Winged Warrior first. This one is a fantastic vertical scrolling shooter, and the game itself is absolutely fantastic. I don't know why they didn't go ahead and make a full complete in-box edition for this, because I would have happily paid the money to get the full physical version. It's such a great game, one of the best vertical scrollers on the system actually. Just the level of quality in the programming on this is really unparalleled. Maybe only Dangan can kind of outdo it in terms of number of sprites on screen at once, but I am super impressed by this. The music's also great, it also runs in full colour as well, and there's a range of different characters you can play as, there's great boss fights throughout the game as well. It's just overall a very, very well polished game. I'm sure you'll all agree that Winged Warrior looks absolutely incredible. And now finally, let's check out this game here called Gunship. I don't really know whether you could class this as a vertical scrolling shooter or not. It kind of is. This is Gunship. And basically, you control a crosshair as your helicopter is constantly moving up the screen, and enemies come down from the top or in from the sides, and you have very limited ammo. And the crosshair actually moves quite slowly as well, so it is a game of skill where you have to try and get to the enemies before they can shoot you, because you've also got limited health. There are a few things that you can collect throughout the level in order to replenish your health and replenish your ammo. It's just another really well polished game from 7FH, and I've actually got a few other of his games as well, which I'm also planning to do videos on in the future. This one as well is another one of Incubate's light releases, so it is cartridge only, but I definitely recommend checking it out if you enjoy the gameplay that's going over the screen right now. I'm sure you can tell that these releases here, honestly, are almost as good as an official Game Boy release from the time, and it's just mind-blowing that a company like this even exists today, so I am so happy to be able to do this video. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to chat with me and fellow retro gamers in between videos, I do actually have a Discord server, which I've been terrible in advertising, so I'm saying it right now. Go ahead and check the link in the description or check the pinned comment and go and join my amazing Discord community. I've got so many great people in there, and it would be great to welcome you to it as well. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, join the competition, and I'll see you very soon for the next episode. Goodbye.